From the local station, News 4 Jax starts now.
Confusion lingers about this suspect's motive.
He said he didn't want no money.
That man, one of 11 people terrified when police say the suspect held people hostage at a Northwest Jacksonville bank.
We just lucky nobody gets shot, because I told the girl to put her hand over her mouth, because I'm thinking that, you know, it's going to be some shooting.
Family holding their loved ones tighter tonight after that group of hostages was released safely.
Okay, she okay. Praise the Lord. We've been praying for you, baby.
Now people are taking to social media to share their thanks for the emergency crews who helped these people return home.
You know, those guys work and train hard every single day for days like today, and it paid off today.
Sheriff Mike Williams telling us he is incredibly proud of the 80 or so officers who did their jobs today. There were 13 hostages who were being held against their will at the Community First Bank on Edgewood Avenue.
Police say 2 of the hostages managed to stay hidden from the suspect, and when they dashed for the door, SWAT teams moved it in. This is new video within the hour of Nicholas Humphrey being taken into the jail. When Vic Michelucci asked if he had anything to say, he said, "New world order." Our live coverage continues right now. We begin with Scott Johnson and the man who Scott spoke with, a person hiding in the credit union at the time of this. Scott?
Terrifying incident for him tonight. The credit union locked up tight. They're keeping people off the property as they try and settle down after just an exhausting day. Talking to this man who escaped safely, just fascinating to hear. Among the 11 hostages released was Frank Brown. He says initially it was difficult to determine what Nicholas Humphrey was going to do with the gun he was holding.
I thought he was going to start shooting people, because he said he was going to shoot them. And I told her, I said, put your hand over your mouth. Because if you would have started shooting, I didn't want her to start screaming and give me away. And I said, if you come in here, I told her, I said, I'm going to start fighting.
Brown says initially they struggled to understand why he was doing this. At first glance, bank robbery came to mind, but that appeared to change.
Yeah, he said he didn't want no money. And so I'm thinking he a terrorist. Okay, I speak to his family. He said he wanted his wife, his mother-in-law, and his father to come to the bank. He wanted to talk to them.
Eventually, as the situation escalated, the SWAT team decided to go in, and the hostages were taken out to a nearby library, much to Brown's relief.
And I think I'm going to go get me a license to carry a concealed weapon, because if I would have had a weapon, then it wouldn't have been none of that right there.
And tonight I talked to a former head of the JSO SWAT team who is not here today, but he says one thing the suspect would have struggled with in this case that was tactically good for the SWAT team is the suspect had a difficult time controlling communication by all these different hostages out of the bank. Either they had cell phones that the suspect knew about or did not know about, and that is a difficult thing for a hostage taker to manage with all the tension that is going on. We're live in the Northwest Jacksonville. Scott Johnson, Channel 4, the local station.
Nicholas Humphrey is now an inmate of the Duval County Jail, booked in about 45 minutes ago. This is a mugshot of a past arrest. His charges include 13 counts of kidnapping, 1 count of armed robbery, and 1 count of car theft. He will have a first appearance in front of a Duval County judge tomorrow morning. We also looked into his background and found he was arrested for domestic battery earlier this year in Hillsborough County.
A mother of one of the hostages asked for an apology after her son was accidentally named the gunman. Channel 4's Janice Harris spoke with the mother throughout the day while her son was held hostage, and then again after he was released. Janice?
When we first spoke with Tarsha Schumann earlier today, she was in a panic, wanting to know if her son was safe. He is a bank teller at Community First Credit Union. She was worried about him. She received a text message where he then said, "I am okay." That's all she knew. She still hadn't seen him yet. And then later in the day, we had heard from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office that his name was mentioned as the gunman. That was a mistake. We then talked to her after that. She said she was extremely upset about it, and she wanted an apology. Well, she got that apology later on today.
I don't want to talk too much about it, but I'm not pleased with the releasing of the name. That was incorrect, stating that my son, DeAndre Schumann, was the suspect. He was not the suspect. I wasn't pleased about that, but other than that, I'm just grateful that it's resolved and taken care of.
I think the father of DeAndre came to the scene and said, "Hey, my son's in the bank." And so by the time we got him to the command post, all of the takedown was happening, all of that. So just in the confusion, that name was applied as the suspect. So again, an error on our part, an error on my part for putting that out.
And again, as you hear Sheriff Williams saying, it was simply a mistake, and they have apologized for it. But tonight, it is a happy ending because those 11 hostages are safe tonight and the gunman arrested. Janice Harris, Channel 4, the local station.
Family members waited desperately for 2+ hours to find out if their loved ones were okay inside of the Community First Bank. It was extremely tense, but when those family members eventually saw those hostages walking across the street to safety, as you can imagine, everyone involved in this scene breathed a sigh of relief.
We've been praying for you, baby. We've been praying for you. I just want to hold you, love.
Let me talk to my niece.
I just want to love you, love.
We are working to interview some of the hostages. If they speak with News4JAX, we'll bring you what they had to say tonight on the 10 o'clock news.
The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and other law enforcement agencies train for just this type of situation. It's a well-coordinated effort between first responders and the SWAT team. During our 5:30 newscast, Channel 4's crime and safety analyst Gil Smith told us what it's like for law enforcement in this situation.
They spend thousands of hours training, and this SWAT team in particular, the JSO SWAT team, is one of the top SWAT teams in the country. And when they're in SWAT competitions, they usually come in first, second, or third. So they do a lot of training for so many different scenarios because no two situations are ever going to be the same. So they have to train for just about everything. And so they were just standing there observing and somehow just looking for that opportunity. It only takes a second for a person to be distracted when they can make their move.
We are continuing to follow this story on our digital platforms. Be sure to head to news4jax.com to hear the uncut interview with that hostage you just heard from in Scott's story. Also, be sure to have mobile alerts enabled on our app so you can get updates right to your phone.
We've got plenty of more local news ahead. 3 people were sent to the hospital after being involved in a serious crash that hundreds of commuters witnessed.
And still ahead, what investigators say caused that crash.
We traded T-shirts for sweaters today, and it looks like tonight you're going to be wearing your jackets if you're headed out. Yes, a cold start tomorrow, but we've got some sunshine in the forecast. Details coming up.
News4JAX, coverage that won't waste your time.
It is that time of the year where we collect toys and donations for the Children's Christmas Party of Jacksonville. All day long out front in our parking lot, we've been taking donations, and for today, we'll take donations until 7 o'clock. Hey, Joy, you got to look at some of the stuff that people have donated?
Yes, and I wish I could show you the lobby at inside Channel 4. You all have been so great, our viewers, just bringing toys all day long, unwrapped new toys for children who might not otherwise have a Christmas for the Children's Christmas Party of Jacksonville. That happens December 10th. That's a Saturday when Santa and his helpers will help distribute all these toys you've brought, which include bikes, of course. Take a look at some of the things that we are getting ready to move inside with the hundreds of other toys. We've got blankets and, oh, look at these Barbies. Oh my gosh, those are nice, nice. More bicycle helmets, balls, and I have got to tell you about this. Some of our employees were telling me, look at these. These are Hot Wheels. All of these bins are full of Hot Wheels. I was just told that one man came, brought all of these bins here. He has been collecting these Hot Wheels for years. Isn't that what you guys told me? For years. And that he finally just came and said, I would rather these go to a child or children in need than to sell them. Do you know how long it takes to collect things like this? That was so awesome. And it doesn't matter how many you bring, whether it's a million like these or it's just one toy. That's fine. You've got a couple more minutes to come here to the Channel 4 studios. We are right near the Duval County School Board parking lot. And if you can't make it here, you can go to any Ace Hardware store and drop them off. The specific locations are on our website, news4jax.com. Tarek?
All right, thanks so much, Joy. And now more local news. A crash this afternoon on Beach Boulevard at St. John's Bluff, seriously injuring 3 people. The sheriff's office telling us that a 39-year-old woman ran a red light at high speeds, jumped the concrete median into a Honda, and then hit a commercial gasoline tanker and then a Lexus. The crash closed down the intersection for several hours and forced traffic to be rerouted. Authorities have not released the names of all those involved in that crash.
Always watching, always tracking. Channel 4 is the weather authority.
So we're in that roller coaster, a little up and down. We were warm yesterday. It's dropping down today. I mean, a lot of folks are looking forward to the weekend.
Right.
What can we expect there?
Weekend, just really ideal weather in the 70s. We were in the 80s yesterday, record heat, and then we're cooling down. Tomorrow will probably be the coolest day before we get back into the 80s next week. So you're right. What a ride. Huh?
Yeah, the grass doesn't know what to do. Should I grow or should I hibernate?
Well, tomorrow we're going to be at the bottom of the roller coaster.
Okay.
Early on, you'll want that jacket because temperatures will be as low as they're going to go here for some time. And there come those 80s, just like we said, what a roller coaster ride.
And a little bit of rain, too. Thank you so much, Mark. All right, taking a small victory lap, President-elect Trump toured the Carrier factory.
Next, what Trump is saying about other businesses thinking of leaving the U.S. Around America tonight, President-elect Donald Trump and Vice President-elect Mike Pence were in Indianapolis to tour the Carrier plant.
Earlier this week, Trump tweeted that he reached a deal to keep Carrier in the U.S. Our news partners at CNN are reporting that Carrier is getting $7 million in incentives over the next 10 years. It will also get $500,000 a year in state income tax refunds as long as it keeps more than 1,000 manufacturing jobs in the state. Mr. Trump says there is no longer a need for businesses to relocate.
I just want to let all of the other companies know that we're going to do great things for business. There's no reason for them to leave anymore because your taxes are going to be at the very, very low end and your unnecessary regulations are going to be gone. We need regulations for safety and environment and things, but most of the regulations are nonsense.
Carrier said Mr. Trump's promise to create an improved, more competitive business climate helped them reach the decision to stay in the United States.
One of 7 people killed in fires in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, has been identified as 70-year-old Alice Hagler. We're also getting a look at the fire from a drone. In the video, you can see shells of burned houses, scorched trees, and that smoky haze covering the area. National Park officials say the fires began days earlier on a trail in the mountains 10 miles south of the city. Strong winds on Sunday helped spread the flames. Hagler's son remembers the last time he spoke with his mother.
Things went from, the winds picking up to the last phone call she made to my brother was the fact that she was really scared and frantic because the house was actually on fire at that point. And during that conversation, my brother lost communication with her. We think cell towers went down, signal went bad, and that was the last we heard of her.
Search teams continue traveling house to house looking for people.
Former astronaut Buzz Aldrin has arrived in New Zealand after being evacuated from the South Pole for medical reasons. The National Science Foundation said that Aldrin's health deteriorated while visiting the area as part of a tourist group. The luxury tourism company, White Desert, said the 86-year-old has fluid in his lungs but is responding well to antibiotics. He said he will be kept overnight for observation. His condition is stable, and his manager describes him as being in good spirits. Aldrin was part of the Apollo 11 mission in 1969 when he became the second person to ever walk on the moon.
It's a frozen treat loved by many. Well, now one fast food chain has a great deal.
Next, how you can get a year's worth of Frosties from Wendy's for only $2.
Like WJXT4, the local station, on Facebook.
If you love Wendy's Frosties, you're going to have a great year in 2017.
The restaurant chain announced it'll start next year. Anyone with a $2 key tag will get a free Junior Frosty with every purchase. Wendy's will then pay 90 cents on the dollar for every key tag to the Dave Thomas Foundation, which helps children in foster care. The tags are available at most Wendy's locations, but tags on the company's website have already sold out.
Great cause, great tastes.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
The news continues on news4jax.com, and of course, we'll see you tonight right here at 10 o'clock.